Good morning, podcasters. Today is Thursday, May 28th, 2026, and today we're exploring podcasting lessons creators rarely forget. The moments that went sideways, the decisions they rethink, and the changes that only happened after experience stepped in. So if you're listening live on Clubhouse, hit the share button, top right-hand side of the screen, and share it however Clubhouse lets you. And if you're catching us via podcast, YouTube, etc., please share this episode with a fellow podcaster. And now give us about 30 seconds, and we'll get things rolling. Thanks for being here. The Podcasting Morning Show is powered by Ironic Media, helping podcasters launch, polish, and grow great shows. And by Content Creators Accountant, helping creators build real business behind their content. Good morning again, Podcasting Morning Show. Thank you so much for being here. I am your host, Mark Ronick, and currently on stage with me, we have Alex Baelish, Ralph Estep, DR Fay, and BC Babbles. Also on stage with us, Dan Schultz from, well, I say from yesterday's show because he joined us yesterday on stage as well, and a community member here, and I got to know Dan a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later in the show. First, before we dig into all the things here today, because yes, I've already told you about this idea of discussing our hard lessons that we've learned over time. Also, we're going to get into wins from the week toward the end of the show. All of that. Oh, we have our Spotlight podcast to play today. But first, we're going to skip the line and go right to one particular win and one particular person on stage. Ralph, good morning to you.
Good morning, everybody.
Share that win.
So last night at 8:06 p.m., we ushered in Carson Christopher Estep into the world. So I am a very proud grandpa this morning. It was a C-section, so that always presents a little bit of scariness or scary times. But what I'm told is everybody is great. We did a little FaceTime with the little guy last night. He has got a full head of black hair, which is hilarious because my daughter-in-law nor my son have dark hair, but he's got dark hair. But I just want to thank everybody for all the kind thoughts and wishes, because this has been a moment in my world I never expected, man. And the emotions that I've been on the last 24 hours have been absolutely amazing. And I just hope I'm a good grandpa to my little fella.
I'm sure you will be, Ralph.
So what will be your grandpa name?
Pop-Up.
Pop-Up. And what's your wife's?
You know what? The jury's still out on that one. So she had a long list. I didn't realize there was such a list of these names, but I had no concept of this. But mine was easy because I've shared on the show before. My closest human relationship was with my Pop-Up, and that's what I hope to be for my grandson Carson.
That's so cool.
Cool.
And yeah, I know this has been very emotional, and you said 24 hours. I'm thinking about it, Ralph. It's more like 48 hours.
Yeah, she checked into the hospital Tuesday night at 10 p.m. So yeah, and she had some some issues with the pregnancy. So they wanted to make sure she was in a good place, and the doctors did fantastic care. When they it was interesting. I was playing softball last night when they made the decision at 8:00, and two teams of grown church league softball men hit the knees and all prayed for her. And about 15 minutes later, the baby was born. So,
Wow.
once they decide the hospital, it's time to go. They don't mess around. They just go. So again, I just want to say thank you to everybody for your support. Your prayers and all that have been felt by me, and I truly appreciate it.
You are welcome. And yeah, we're all very excited for you, Ralph. Thank you for sharing the news with us. Much appreciated. Okay, so what I want to do now is, you know what? It's time for today's Podcasting Morning Show Spotlight, where we feature a podcaster from our community and give you a quick taste of their show. Today's Spotlight, hold on, side note, we can edit this out, but I just got to let DR back into the Riverside here. Okay, she's back. So today's Spotlight comes from Zach DeWack, host of DeWack in the Morning. Zach didn't give us a long description for this one. In fact, his note simply said, the ad should speak for itself. And by the way, side note, please don't do that. You give me extra work, but that's okay because we'll just go ahead then for this one and do exactly that. So as you listen, pay attention to how quickly this promo establishes the show's personality. I think you're going to hear the tone, the comedy style, the rhythm, and the kind of listener that Zach is trying to attract. So with that, here is DeWack in the morning.
Hey everybody, I'm Zach DeWack, and welcome to DeWack in the Morning.
The podcast that hits your ears like coffee with a restraining order.
Every show we're serving up stupid news, weird history, celebrity birthdays, ridiculous holidays, savage horoscopes, I call horrible scopes, and whatever nonsense crawled out of the internet wearing pants. It's part morning radio, part comedy show.
Part why am I laughing at this before breakfast?
So whether you're driving to work, pretending to work, hiding from your family, or just need something funny to make your day a little less normal, DeWack in the Morning is here for you. New shows drop Monday and Friday, so follow, subscribe, tell a friend, unless your friend has no sense of humor.
Then tell their parole officer.
DeWack in the Morning, comedy, chaos, and caffeine for your ears. You can find it now at ZachDeWack.com. That's ZachDawack.com.
Apple, Spotify, Podbean, Podchaser, Amazon Music, iHeart, YouTube, and all that jazz.
Thank you for checking it out.
That was DeWack in the morning from Zach DeWack. What stood out to me in this promo, it's exactly, we know what lane it's in, right? It's fast, it's chaotic, it's got some humor, and very clearly built around a radio morning show energy. That's what got my attention as a fan of morning radio. Zach describes it as, well, he does. Well, he describes it, he didn't to us, but I looked into it. He describes this show as comedy, chaos, and caffeine, as you heard, for ears, with stupid news, weird histories, celebrity birthdays, ridiculous holidays, and what he calls horrible scopes. So from a podcasting standpoint, I think there's a takeaway here. A good promo, it doesn't have to explain every detail of the show, right? It needs to give people a feel for the experience. This one does that, I think, pretty quickly. You get the energy and the attitude, you get that sense of humor, and you know pretty fast whether this is going to be your kind of show. So if it is your kind of show, go check him out, DeWack in the Mornings at ZachDeWack.com. And if anybody else had any thoughts they wanted to chime in, they are more than welcome to. But overall, I think, Zach, well done. You're clearly a radio pro that's gone podcasting. At least that's my assumption. And you did a great job. So yeah, thank you for that submission. And if you'd like your podcast featured on the Podcasting Morning Show, submit a 60-second clip about your show to podcastingmorningshow.com/spotlight. I'm not going to give you the whole spiel because I think you get a good sense of how we do it, what we do, by listening to that segment. So thank you again to Zach, and looking forward to doing these more on Fridays. Whoop, I hit the wrong button.
I pushed the wrong button again. Now my screen froze up, my friend. Oh man, laugh it off, hit reset, let it spin. I pushed the wrong button again.
Oh, well. Yeah, there are up to, I think, 8 pages on the Rodecaster Pro, and a lot of my pages are filled. So when I have a spotlight clip to play, I got to go find it on another page and scroll around. And so, yeah, I just hit the wrong scroll. I got to the wrong page and then hit the wrong button. There you go. All right. And what I think I meant to hit was, all right, now we can officially do this. So look, every podcaster has a story, right? A time maybe that the guest didn't show up, or maybe just completely sucked. A time the audio or the video failed. A time you launched something and maybe just got crickets, right? Maybe you've said yes too much and it's got you into a corner that you felt like you couldn't get out of, or something maybe felt off to you, but you ignored your gut anyway. We talked a little bit about that, I think, yesterday, as far as following your intuition sometimes. And sometimes those moments teach us more than the courses, more than the checklists or the gear. and the advice threads ever could. So today we're going to ask the room lots of different questions, but the main question here, what's one podcasting lesson you had to learn the hard way? And by the way, good morning to Sid, who I think is over on the West Coast joining us today. Sid, the resident traveler of this community. I think he travels more than all of us.
For now, I'm going to be a homebody really soon. But good morning, everybody. And yes, I am in. We're in McMinnville, Oregon. We're doing wine tours starting today.
Very nice. I love it. I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks when I do the volunteering at the summer camp. One of two that I'll be doing this summer for a week. I'm really looking forward to that.
Is it here in Oregon?
Yeah,
Mark?
Portland.
Or is it in this? Oh, Portland. Okay,
Yeah.
That's where we flew into. Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
see, I don't associate Oregon with wine.
No, me neither.
So the Willamette, if I'm saying it right, the Willamette Valley, and there are 3 towns, and it's wine country. Yeah, mostly Pinot Noir. If you drink wine, it's a light red wine. That's mostly that. A few whites, but we did stop at one winery yesterday, but we've never been here, so this is an exciting thing. It's a new adventure. There are three other couples with us, so there's 8 of us, and we're just exploring this part of the country. We've never been here, so it's fun.
Awesome. Enjoy that, Sid. And thank you for being here bright and early this morning. I know it's a lot earlier there than it is here. And I see a lot of people want to chime in, so I will share mine somewhere in between everyone else's shares here. I was going to go first, but since a lot of people have chimed in, let's do it. So let's go to BC. You know what? I'm going to go to you first. Let's go alphabetically this morning. And a quick hello to Jonathan Howard, who's just joined us on stage as well. BC, go for it. What's a hard lesson you learned the hard way?
Thank you. Good morning. I learned the hard way that if your recording sessions tend to be in person and longer than 20 minutes, do not use GoPros as the video recording, or maybe just don't use GoPros at all.
Okay, what's that
they run
story?
hot. They run hot, and they ruined my SD cards. So no more shall I use a GoPro for visual recording.
So, and do you have those? Did they run hot? Were they plugged in or just using a battery?
Just using battery. They had their own little cases with ventilation on them. Despite all that, they ran hot after like 35 minutes. And if some of them have like a little internal thing where it shuts down itself just to try to save itself, but nope, mine didn't do that. They just burned.
Wow. So, and you said this was an in-person.
Yeah, because I used to do my show entirely in person, and so I would use GoPros for my shot and my guest shots, and yeah, I started switching over to webcams after that.
Yeah, I was going to ask what's the device of choice if you're not using the GoPros? Anything in particular, or do you remember
I'm
the
enjoying
brand?
this. Like, I got this like great E-Meets 4K camera, which is the one I'm on right now. Love it.
Yeah.
Low cost for energy. It's great.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. That gear stuff, I'm sure it will be a common theme here with hard lessons learned. I think that, yeah, it's easy to make mistakes with the gear, especially hardware in the podcasting space, to say the least. DR, I saw you throw up your hand a couple times. Did you want to share? Or did you have a question?
So mine came very, very early in my producing career. After I got through with editing and sweetening the sound and everything, I loaded it up on Libsyn, and I thought, okay, that's it. Okay, on to the next one. And it was horrible. And what I should have done is I should have listened to it on the Libsyn player before I hit publish. Because that's really, it was a quick fix. And it took my brand new client to say, oh God, this sounds terrible. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's not what you want to hear from a
Yeah.
client.
Yeah, exactly. Especially your very first one. And
Yeah.
you're so nervous anyway. So yeah, that was a good lesson for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that one. And by the way, thank you, BC, for sharing as well. Let me share one. Yeah, let me share mine now. So I'm in the middle of learning a hard lesson. For the past 5 years, I've been all in on social media, and I've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into learning how it works, how to use it to build authority, brand awareness, and ultimately my business. And I've learned a lot of really valuable lessons about marketing, reaching my audience, and engagement. But the hard lesson I'm learning this year is that I've allowed social media to become a much bigger piece of the puzzle than it should have been. And when I say the puzzle, what I really mean is my business. I think I let social media consume me. I depended on it to be my path to success for way too long. And it's taken a toll on me because I become obsessed with my content going viral. And honestly, I don't really mean viral. I think these days, just getting some solid engagement would be nice. And somewhere along the lines, it also created a bit of an addiction for me as a consumer of social media. And I usually try not to share, quote unquote, my stuff publicly when I'm still in the middle of the mess. I don't think that oftentimes serves anybody well. But in this case, I think sharing it is part of my process toward breaking up with social media. It helps me build more awareness around the problem, and saying it publicly helps hold me accountable. And I'm not saying I'm walking away from social media. I still believe it's an important tool in the podcasting game, but I am saying I'm working on a strategy to break the cycle and reset my relationship with it and find healthier ways to use it to my advantage. So, yeah, like I said, I don't love doing this publicly when I feel like I'm still in the middle of it. I just feel like that doesn't serve people well. I'd rather kind of be on the other side of it so that I can really give you all my lessons. But like I said earlier, I think having this awareness and accountability is really going to help serve me in this process and figure out really how I want to handle it moving forward. All right, I see a lot of people want to chime in, and Junaid jumped up on stage. So I'll go to you first, Junaid. Good morning, my friend. What did you want to add? Did you have something you wanted to add to what I'm sharing?
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. Ralph, congratulations on your grandson Carson.
Yeah.
Mark, yes, so I wanted to respond to what you're sharing, and this is the perfect thing that people are looking for actually on social media, if you think about it. They want to see the struggle. They want to feel like you are the same person as them, or they can relate to you on a level in that struggle bus.
Mm.
Right? So this is exactly it. Because if you think about it, where did Pat Flynn share about him getting fired from his architecture job? He shared on a blog. He shared on his podcast.
Yep.
Later on, right? Of course, he was over it. But when you're actually going through the thing, I mean, we were all invested with Ralph past 2 days, all the things that he's going through with his daughter-in-law and everything. People get invested because they're like, oh my God, this person is human just like me. I want to know what happened. You're leaving an open hook for them. Junaid out.
Yeah. Thank you, Junaid. Yeah, it's a really good point. And Jessica's agreeing with you in her own way here in the chat. She says sharing publicly takes the power away and really helps the community support and success. I do agree with a lot of that. I really do. You've heard me say similar things. I think it can be more impactful when you've gone through it as opposed to sharing while you're in it. I'm not saying that one is always more impactful than the other, but I'm just saying that sometimes when you're in it, you don't have your clarity yet. You can't really provide solutions yet. But like you're saying, Junaid, yes, there are times where maybe the solution isn't what connects you with your audience. Instead, it's the struggle. So I get that too. And I appreciate what you're saying, and Jessica, what you're saying there in the chat. I feel like I saw a few other people maybe wanting to chime in on what I was sharing, but so I just want to pause for a second, make sure. No,
Mark, I just
Yeah,
wanted
go
to
ahead,
jump in
Ralph.
there and say something. So, one of the things that I deal with a lot of people who have addictions. I know it sounds funny as an accountant, I deal with people with addictions, but I do. I deal with a lot
Sure.
of people with money addictions, gambling addictions, all kinds of those type of things. And the thing I will tell you, Mark, is the first part of the struggle is to name it.
Yeah.
And you've named it. And you're not alone in this, dude. This is what I feel is an epidemic, actually.
Yeah.
This social media is an epidemic thing. And there are so many people that their emotions ride on this roller coaster. Did anybody like my post? Did anybody see my post? And it just takes away the journey, and it takes away your humanity, dude. So I respect you a ton. It's funny. I was on a call yesterday and there was a bunch of people talking about how they've completely given up on social media and they've never felt better in their lives. I'm not telling you to do that because I use social media as well, but dude, it does like suck you in.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
when you're ready to pivot, I do have a story though about something I learned the hard way. So just let me know when you're ready for me to share that.
Yeah, thank you, Ralph. Yeah, and it's, I think the way that the quote unquote addiction developed for me was with the obsession of, I'll just phrase it as winning social media, right? To become one of those people that gets lots of followers, lots of engagement, etc. That's, but I think for me, my addiction is about, it started as studying what's working on social media. And I think I became obsessed with that whole process of studying, right? Because I would watch and see, like, what is it about this video that so many people are attracted to, commenting all over the place. And then I start, I watch the next one and watch the next one. And sometimes I'll watch ones that are bad and I'll think, okay, what didn't work with this one, right? So it was good intentions, but I think then it started feeding the dopamine hits. It was giving me a lot of dopamine. And as somebody with ADHD, we struggle with dopamine manufacturing in these heads of ours. So we get those quick fixes from social media. So it was a snowball effect that really took its toll. And I have been slowly working toward breaking up with it. And my intention is not to go away, like I said earlier, not to just quit it altogether. My intention is to just get off of it more, be on it less. Right. But like, I don't need to be the one posting my content anymore. And that's the first step to, I think, really breaking the addiction, because I got to open the app to post it. And I know there are scheduling apps that I could use instead. I just don't want, I'm looking to break up with it and find maybe somebody else to do it for me. So I don't even want to bother with scheduling apps. I just want to be off the app as much as possible and just check it every so often, right? See what's going on in this crazy world. So anyway, okay, that's enough about me. Thank you for listening and thank you for the encouragement. Sid, did you want to respond to that? Because I saw you flash your emoji there and I wanted to just make sure. Did you want to respond to that, or are you just saying you have something to share of your own?
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of do want to respond to it. So,
Okay.
as you were talking, the thing that came to my mind was what we're doing when I'm saying we, because we're all doing it. What we're doing when we're posting on social media is we're seeking validation.
Oh, yeah.
We're seeking validation that what we're doing is good, that what we're doing has an impact, that people like what we're doing so we can do more of it. And I think that's the wrong place to seek validation. But it's there, right? And we all have it, and everybody's using it. And you see people talking about it. And I think we have to find validation that we're doing good work and that we're good people, and that we have to find it other places, not in social media. But everybody does it, Mark. Everybody's seeking validation that this is good and that I'm doing a good job, right? But I think that starts internally rather
Yeah.
than externally.
I mean, that's it, Sid. You just said it. You beat me to it. I think the problem is that a lot of us are seeking out external validation. And this has been a journey that I've been on for a couple of years now, really recognizing how much I depend on that. And the truth of the matter is, we've got to all come to the point where our own validation is enough. That's what I'm working on, is being happy with my own decisions and being okay if sometimes they may not be the best decisions. But ultimately, it's got to come from within. I agree with you, Sid. And it's a hard struggle. It's a hard thing to just be able to accept yourself and not need everyone else to tell you, hey, great job. Here's a pat on the back for you. Hey, great content you made. Right? Yes, sometimes it's important for us to know that it's our content's hitting with our audience, right? But yeah, I'll just leave it right there.
But Mark, I think that when you stop seeking it is when it really comes.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like when you quit pushing so hard for the validation, it actually comes. And I shared, I guess yesterday in our moderator chat, I got a random message from some lady that I do not know.
Yeah.
And it was actually, I mean, it got me emotional. I'm like, holy cow, this person's in my ecosystem. I'm connected to her. I don't know her. And she's had some really nice things to say about my content, how my content's helping her. I wasn't seeking her. It just showed up.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. I think when you quit seeking it is when it really shows up. And I messaged her back and said, this made my day. Like, thank you so much for sharing with me the impact that my podcast has had on you. And I really appreciate it. And I dropped a link in there and said, if I can ever help you, here's the link to my calendar. Put some time on my calendar and I'll be whatever I can do to help you. And for me, that's my way to get back to her. Right. Just like thanking her for help, for engaging with my content and for sending me that message. And so I don't know that she'll ever put time on my calendar, but to me, that was me giving a gift back to her because she gave me a really big gift yesterday when she sent me that message, unsolicited. So yeah, I think when we quit seeking it, it starts to show up more.
Thank you, Sid. Yeah, great example and great point. It's when we stop looking, that's where all of a sudden it starts arriving and it feels great. I'm with you there. Gabe, I see you sharing in the chat. You are welcome to share on stage as well. I gave you an invitation, so I'll give you a minute to see if you want to come up on stage and share. And if not, then I'll probably just read it. But yeah, and I also see in the chat here, Jessica says ADHD is a different wiring of the brain. She's responding to what I was talking about with the low dopamine. She says we can reframe obsession with deep focus and redirect when we become self-aware. Agreed. Yes. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go to, let's see, it's 8:30. So here's what we'll do. Ralph, I'm going to come to you to share about Money Monday coming up next week, and then please share your hard lesson learned.
Absolutely. So this Money Monday on the show, we're tackling a hidden problem costing creators real money, and that is your software stack. I think too many creators are paying for tools they forget about, duplicate platforms they don't need, and subscriptions spread across accounts that they barely track. The result of that is profit leaks, money chaos, and the feeling that you're making decent money, but still somehow feel broke all the time. So on Monday, I'm going to break down how to fix it with a simple system, how to audit your subscriptions, clean up the bloat, set a software budget, and start doing a 15-minute monthly money review. So this is about moving from creator chaos to clarity so you can protect your margins.
What was that, DR?
I said, get out of my head, Ralph.
So DR, this is for you. No, I'm just being funny. This is about moving from creator chaos to clarity so you can protect those money margins, make smarter decisions, and actually keep more of what you earn. So make sure you join us on Monday for the Money Monday of saving money on your software stack.
Thank you, Ralph. And by the way, I had to read this out loud. Well, actually, you know what, Jonathan, what's going on with your audio over there?
Couldn't figure out why it was going in and out. Turns out the dog had my ear pod in his mouth.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
Yeah. You probably almost lost an earbud, or at least for a little while, until, it was time to get rid of that and other food that your dog had this morning. Wow, that would have been ugly.
Luckily, I caught it before it went that far.
Yeah, good. Good to have you here, Jonathan. All right, Ralph, so do you want to share a hard lesson learned?
Absolutely. So the thing I learned, and this was a tough one, I started working with Podmatch And there was a time when I just took on as many interviews as I could get. Well, I got to the point where I wasn't really vetting the people, shows I was going on, and I wasn't looking at their stuff. So this one lady, I'll never forget this dude. I showed up for the video meeting or whatever you want to call it, Zoom, and she's like in a public park or something, and the audio was horrible. I mean, there's birds chirping, people screaming. And I was like, I actually said to her at the beginning of this interview, I said, you know what? I'm not sure this is a good fit for me because I'm bringing professionalism to this. And if the host can't even bring it, I was like, so lesson learned for me before I go on to anybody's show now. I watch their show. I listen to their show. I do a background check on them. I know it sounds like I'm being legalistic here, but you've got to do that. And that was a lesson for me because this person as a host did not have their stuff together, and my brand would suffer if I allowed myself to be on that show. So that was my hard lesson learned, Mark.
Yeah, whether it's Podmatch or however you're finding your guests, I think it is important, or if you're going to be a guest, either way, I think it's important to do a little bit of research around that person and that show. Because, yeah, I mean, yours isn't really in the big picture the worst I've heard as far as bringing on guests or being a guest and being in an unusual situation. There are a lot of horror stories out there, and usually that comes down to not doing a little bit of your homework first. So, yeah. And BC, did you want to chime in? BC, I think you are unmuted if you're chatting.
Well, it's like,
oh, he was coughing. He's choking on something. Sorry, I couldn't see you because my screen has you really small on screen, so I didn't see that.
What was it? Jonathan's earbud that you were choking on?
Thank you, Dan.
I had the other
Good
one. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say that brings us back to when I mentioned that one guest I had where we had 2 hours of session reserved and they were over an hour late. Podcast etiquette, people, it's a real thing.
Yes.
If you don't know what that is, look it up. There's a give and take to it.
Absolutely. I'm with you there, BC. Thank you. And sorry for coming to you right when you're in the middle of a choke. Yeah. And
it's
thank
really
you again,
dangerous
Ralph.
air where I live.
Yeah. Let's see. I know Sid wants to share. I think DR wants to share as well. We have a little bit of time before we jump into wins from the week. So let's go to you, Sid. What's a hard lesson you learned in podcasting?
There are two that stick out to me. One of them is about my entrepreneur journey. When I started in 2017, I learned the hard way that when people ghost you or say no to you, it's really not about you, it's about them and their fear of what your service or what your product might uncover in their business. And it was a really hard lesson for me to learn because I always would think it was about me and what do I need to do differently and how do I need to show up differently? What should we do differently in the quote and the research, blah, blah, blah. That sticks with me on a daily. And that's almost 10 years ago. Now, the podcasting lesson that is in my brain every day is you can't do it all. You can't do it alone. You can't do it all.
Yeah.
And I learned that, when I almost quit podcasting the first time and because I couldn't figure out how to edit and I couldn't do this and couldn't do that. And that's when I realized I cannot do this all. And if this is something I want to take seriously and be really good at, I have to surround myself with people that can help me, whether it's a community like this where I can learn, attending conferences where I can learn more, or hiring people and investing in myself by hiring a team. Then I just need to lean into understanding that I cannot do it all. To be the best podcaster I can be, I have to have the right people around me.
Thank you for that, Sid. And Sid, was that you're the first person you brought on to help you with your podcast? Whatever that was, you can tell us who that was as far as what they were doing for you. But was it a hard decision to make at first? Because I know a lot of podcasters tend to shy away or feel like, no, I can't bring in anybody for whatever their reasons are. But was that a hard process for you to go through?
So her name is Kayla, and she's still with me today. She started editing my podcast at episode 35, and on Monday we'll post edit 189. She's been with me for every one of them, and I've learned a lot from her. And, was it hard? Yeah, it's hard because it's a decent amount of money that I have to put out every week, every month to get the product done. But again, the decision was not more, wasn't necessarily about the money. It was about me, and did I want to really improve myself in this craft, and did I want to continue with this? And if the answer to that question was yes, I had to hire her. And it is by far the best decision I've ever made in my podcasting journey, was hiring Kayla Wells. And I found her on LinkedIn. I didn't have this community. I didn't know that podcast editors really existed. And I just went into LinkedIn and typed in podcast editor, and she popped up. And she lives about 20 minutes from me, and 150 some odd episodes. I have never met her in person, but I
Wow.
know all about her. I know her boys, her family. I know what she does. She has a full-time job too. And, we just have a great relationship, and I would not do my podcast without her at all. That is a non-negotiable for me. The only way that I would ever hire another editor is if she gave it up. Like, I am loyal to her because of how she helped me and how she believed in me and how she showed me how to be a better podcaster.
Mm.
So was it hard? Yeah, it was hard. The first thing you think about is the money. I have the
Yeah.
money to do this, right? And then, but when you really start to think about that, when you hire someone to do something in your business, what does it free you up to do? And what does it free you up to focus on that's going to move your business forward? And what takes Kayla probably an hour to do would take me 6 hours to do,
Right.
right? I mean, it's just not and I know my strength. This is not my strength, and it never will be my strength. It's not anything I want to learn how to do. And so, yeah, it was the best decision I ever made, but it was a hard one to make for sure.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Sid. And also, I find sometimes editing, as far as hiring somebody, farming it out, it's also hard to let go of for a lot of podcasters because we have our own styles and our own preferences. And we fear that this editor we're going to bring in isn't going to do it as well as we do, or isn't going to do it the same way as we do. And so we're afraid to let go of that control. And what I always tell people is, it's most editors, they want to do it the way you want to do it. Sure, they have their own style and preferences, and they might suggest those to you. I think a good editor will do that too. But ultimately, the idea is to really work with that person as a partner. Share with them what you like and what you don't like ahead of time before they start editing. And then you got to also be a little patient about the process too. And I'm sharing this with you from my own personal experience. It was hard for me to let go because I'm pretty damn proud of the way I edit podcasts. And to let go of that, it felt like I would be taking a step backwards. And you do sometimes for a minute. But the whole point is you got to communicate, and you got to treat that person like a partner, and they got to do the same for you. And if they're not listening to you, you've found the wrong editor. So, by the way, do want to remind you, if you are looking for somebody, go to ironicmedia.com or reach out to me, and we can talk about whether or not it's a good fit for us. But I would love to at least have an opportunity to talk to you about producing your podcast. And you never know, DR's on my team. She might be the one actually editing your podcast. So, yeah, check out ironicmedia.com or email me at mark@ironicmedia.com. And that's IRONICK media.com. So anyway, yeah, great example, Sid. Thank you for that. And I'm going to keep it moving here. Dan, you said I saw something in the chat, I think from you, that said you had a lesson you wanted to share.
Yeah. So back in 2012, my podcast partner, Jennifer, and I started this thing called the Hawaii Travel Podcast. It was a typical travel show about, travel tips going to Hawaii. And this is a lesson I wish I would have figured this out. I figured it out now, and I'll tell you about it. So when we started, we looked at the competition. We searched for Hawaii Travel Podcast. We looked and we saw what everyone was doing. And we thought, I love competition because competition can show, it's proof of concept that, okay, there's a bunch of shows doing this. They're probably doing it because there's a demand. People like the topic. And the other reason I like competition is because I looked at it and went, okay, this is a roadmap. I know how to win this race because this is the competition. I can easily listen to what everyone's doing and I can just do it better. right? We did it for 2 years. We never won the race. It was always middling. Jennifer had a baby. My kidney died. I had to get a new kidney, a kidney transplant. Stopped doing it. Fast forward to now, where it's on our roadmap in 2026, later in the year, to relaunch the Hawaii Travel Podcast. But now, when I looked at the competition, everyone's still doing the same thing. And I'm looking at it going, okay, this is not the race that I want to win. I need to not be in this race. I want to run an entirely different race that nobody else was running in that niche. And I think every podcaster can do this. So what did that mean? Well, like I said, back in 2012, it was a very typical show. Everyone's answering the same type of information because that's what it is. Just like you answer the same type of information when it comes to podcasting. Everyone kind of has the same information because there are common questions that you want to answer.
Sure.
So then it dawned on me like, okay, well, how do I win this race? Well, the new show is going to be the same information because it's common information. But instead of just doing what everyone else does, what if this new show took place in the final 30 minutes of an imaginary flight as it descends into a Hawaiian airport? So now the premise has changed. We come on, do our little spiel. Welcome to the Hawaii Travel Podcast, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, and we say, and today we're going to talk about, and all of a sudden you hear a ding and the pilot announcement doing his typical, before we land, I want to tell everyone that I want to find the best tropical drink in Maui when I get down on the ground because this flight sucked. Whatever. Then it cuts instantly to me and Jennifer sitting in airplane seats. This is not going to be a video show. Don't have the budget, but it's going to cut to me and Jennifer sitting in airplane seats with ambient airplane noise. Sure. And we're just going to pretend we're sitting there in an airline, answering questions, talking about our trip. When we do interviews, we'll get the guests to play along and we'll be like, hey, is that Sue from Jermaine's Luau up in row 4B? Go grab her, see if she can fit between us. Let's interview her quick. The entire thing will take part on a plane. All right.
I love that.
Bunch of other stuff. There's a character, the pilot, all this kind of stuff. But the thing is, it's all about differentiating, right? It's if you can present the information in a way that is like truly unique, then all of a sudden, when people are talking about your show, it's not just, hey, this is the show where blah, blah, blah. Like this is the one about, not to like copy Friends, but it's like their naming convention. When people actually talk about that show, it's like, what would you rather listen to? When people start talking about your show, it gooses the algorithm because there's interaction with the feed. That's kind of technical stuff. That doesn't really matter, but it's a word of mouth accelerator. You don't have to do it like I just said, like completely reformatting everything. But when I look at Podcast Morning Show, there are a billion shows about podcasting. And like I said, we all basically talk about the same things because there's only so much you can talk about podcasting, about traveling to Hawaii. But why is this show uniquely different? Well, it's because it's the one that has a chat room. It's the one that's live. It's the one where it's a round table. It's the one where blah, blah, blah. Your show is supremely different. And it's different because you're like the quarterback, and then you've got this cast of people who all get to chime in. And it's so easy. If people are in the chat room, you bring them up, and it turns into this insanely awesome interactive thing that is 100% different than any other show. So when people look at the competition, which one are you going to pick? The one that's exactly the same as everything else, or the one that you can actually get something different? Like it's all about the experience. One other lesson learned is that works great if you're starting a show from scratch, but there's not anyone in this room right now listening to this that you can't just wake up. And I mean, don't half-ass it. If you're going to do it, come up with a really unique way to present your show, and you can just do it. Like, you don't need permission. You can just do it. You can wake up. Your listeners can listen to one show and they can wake up the next day and the show is all of a sudden different. And it's totally fine to do that, because when you do this right, the show where you are right now should theoretically be the smallest your show is ever going to be. So people who like, some people might bail from your show. That's totally fine, but you'd be surprised. The majority won't, because the core information is the same. It's just the presentation style is different.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Dan. I think that that's a really great point, because sometimes, actually, maybe always, the differentiator with your podcast is the way that you package and produce your show. So the idea is to really find a way to make it unique. And like you're saying, most of us, the information we have, yes, we have our own experiences to share, which does make us unique in that way. But ultimately, if we're giving advice, if we're giving direction and guidance, it's going to be, in a lot of cases, very similar to where you're going to hear it everywhere else. So finding a way like you did, I love how you did that. Talk about theater of the mind. That is the ultimate definition. Yeah. I think that it really does go a long way. So thank you, Dan.
Oh, and thanks. And don't pay attention to like AI best practices, because really, when you just, no one's asking AI the right kind of stuff. It's just like, how do I do this? Well, here's how you do it. How do I do this? Here's how you do it.
Yeah.
If I ask, hey, we want to do a Hawaii travel show, how do we do it? Do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, it's not going to tell you to do something that creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Okay, I have time for one more, and really I don't, but I want to make sure I give everybody as many opportunities as I can. Does anyone else want to share a hard lesson learned?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so this is, talk about going on a journey with someone. This is something that I am still struggling with. And it's, again, I'm going to bring up my first client. You know, when you have been dying to get a client and you would practically pay someone just to say, I have a client, your boundaries, you compromise your boundaries. And again, this is something that I'm still struggling with my first client. She gave me a shot, and I made the most out of that shot, and we're still together today. But I have lowered the bar on my boundaries, and I don't want to say the phrase "let her get away with," but it's my own fault. So yeah, that's it's a lesson that I still need to learn.
I think boundaries is one that a lot of us need to continue to learn. I'm with you there. Yeah, it's hard for me to say no to people, especially if it sounds like a cool opportunity. Sometimes I'll just jump on an opportunity before I really stop and ask myself, does this align with me? You know, is this something that fits into the grand scheme of all the different things that I'm up to? And if in there, it's like, if the answer is no, then you got to learn to actually say no.
Right. And with subsequent clients, I do have those boundaries. I do put them in, but it doesn't translate to that first client that I have.
Yeah.
So I need to figure that out.
Thank you, DR. Appreciate that. All right. So I think this is a good place to, let's do it. And actually, of course, see, I'm stalling. Again, got to edit this out. Welcome to our live people who are hearing me struggling right now. Every week, here it is. One of these days, I'm going to organize my soundboard so that I can get through it more smoothly. But yeah, let's do it. Wins from this past week. This is where we share the things that are going on in our worlds over this past week that are worth acknowledging, celebrating, etc. It doesn't matter how big, how small you think it is. It doesn't matter if you think the person who shared before you has the ultimate win and you can't compare to theirs. All of that's off the table. All we care about is your win. And if it's getting up in the morning every day because it's been a hard week, that's worth celebrating too. So bring it this morning. Let's start with our audience members who are up here already on stage. I'm going to start with you, Dan. Do you want to share, please, if you don't mind, one win from your week?
Yeah, we just wrapped up season 10 of Band Camp. Season 11 starts June 9th. We are so pumped. We're getting major press. I just did 2 promo swaps with 2 insanely huge media corporations. We're going to start with almost 250,000 free impressions promoting us.
Wow.
It's just awesome. It's good to be alive. That's my win. I'm still here.
Nice. Congratulations, Dan. That sounds awesome. Band Camp. That's BANNED Camp. All right, let's go to Junaid. Junaid, do you want to share a win with us?
Good morning. Yes, win for me this week. I'm in Arizona, doing a podcast studio build for a client.
Nice.
He was a guest on my show last year. I mean, when he saw my stuff on LinkedIn lately, he's like, Junaid, we need to talk. I've been doing this podcast for 2 years. I need to level up. So super excited to be helping him. And it's almost like, you sometimes think the system doesn't work, but it kind of did. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Junaid. Awesome. Please share pictures when you're ready to share pictures in the Empowered Podcasting Facebook group. We'd love to see what you're up to in Arizona. And Tim, coming to you. And as I'm asking everyone, let's just pick one win each so that we can, as many of us as we can share. So go for it, Tim. Good morning.
Hey, good morning there, Mark. So my win this week is opened up my work laptop, and I found that I got an award from our commissioners. It's a big yearly thing that I didn't even know I was up for. And basically, the award is for our care team, which brings in dogs to different offices so that way people can pet them and feel good and warm and fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
And all I did, I don't think I deserve the award, but hey, if it comes with money, great. But all I did was do a financial wellness presentation a couple of times for this group. And so now they have welcomed me into their stead, and I'm winning an award with them.
Very cool. Congratulations, Tim. Awesome. All right, let's keep it going with Renee. Renee, welcome back to the stage. I feel like we haven't talked to you in a minute, so thanks for being here. Please share one win with us.
Okay, we finalized our podcast cover that you'll be seeing today in an email when the artist puts the final touches on it.
Nice. All right. Congratulations. And Renee is saying that I'll see this because Renee and her business partner hired me to help them put on their podcasts that they've been wanting to do for a while now. So yeah, good. Awesome. We've made some progress. I love it. And I can't wait to see it, Renee. Please send away. And remember to send it to my work email. She said, Renee sends me emails. It goes, and I know why, because yeah, it's a long story, but they go to my personal emails and she's not the only one. So yeah, I like to remind everybody of that. All right. With that, let's go to the team since we do have a few more minutes. I'm asking one win each so we can all get through these and share with one another and celebrate with one another. Ralph, I'm coming to you first.
Okay, so I didn't have a big win already, but I did have another big win this week. I started off my fitness journey. My A1C was 13. So 13 is really bad.
A1C, will you tell me?
A1C is like your sugar basically in your body.
Okay, yes.
And so my goal was to get it below that. Well, I am happy to report that with my blood work this week, I am no longer a diabetic. So I have gone from 13 to below 6. So that was my win for the week, past my Carson grandson.
Congratulations, Ralph. That is a huge win for sure. And I know I don't like to size the wins, but man, when you can get rid of something like diabetes, that is worth saying again. So congratulations to you, Ralph. And I'm going to go to you, BC. I was waiting for that yawn to finish. I already got you one, so I was going to let that one. Yeah, go for it.
So win this week is I got 2 new prospective clients. One is for podcast concept. The other one is for a November car show they do here in Charlotte. So getting in on those event circuits, fingers crossed, as a media correspondent. We'll see how things go.
Congratulations, BC. And now let's keep it going. Always great to get new clients, BC. Let's go to DR. DR, please share a win.
Okay, so last 2 weeks ago, my husband's truck, the transmission fell out, something, I don't know. But it's been in the shop for 2 weeks. And my win is that we have some incredible friends. My husband has a friend who has an extra car. So as a result of that, my husband's been riding around in a 2024 Lexus
Nice.
until his truck gets fixed. So it's an appreciation of having good friends.
Very cool. Enjoy the Lexus for a little while there, DR. All right. Let's go to, is that it? No, let's go to Jonathan. Jonathan, do you want to share a win with us? Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Maybe Jack has eaten both of his AirPods this time. All right. I will share then. And now I have to figure it out because I have to pick. I'll share my win that I teased before we actually started officially this morning. I had a great call with Dan Schultz, who's here with us on stage. Dan emailed me after yesterday's show expressing both a lot of love for the show and the urge to want to share some feedback to help improve the show. And we got to talking. I had to take my car in for service yesterday. So I told him, let's get on a call while I'm driving and waiting for my car to get finished up. And we probably talked for a good hour and a half and got to know Dan really well, got some great feedback from Dan. And he's already shared here this morning all of the positive things he had to say about it. He said those things to me yesterday, and I really appreciate those. And I appreciate constructive criticism too. And he gave me some things which I don't mind sharing with you guys. He was encouraging us to, I'm going to generalize here, but to add a little more structure to the show, as well as maybe put myself a little bit more in the spotlight, showcase myself a little bit more, my expertise a little bit more. All of those great suggestions. I'm going to work on finding a balance based on what he suggested versus what feels right to me, but they were really solid suggestions and very appreciated. And welcome officially to Dan for being a part of this community. He's been listening for a while and he's followed me for way longer than this part of my career, I found out, which is cool to hear. But I am ultimately trying to say thank you for being a part of this community, Dan, and we're looking forward to having you be up here more on stage with us as well. So with that, gang, I think this is a great place to wrap up. Remind you that Money Monday comes this Monday, and we have a full week of shows, including at least one guest. We are continuing that trend of adding guests to the show as much as possible. So come join us next week here at podcastingmorningshow.com/join us. And if we've been helpful to you in any way and you want to help support the show, go to podcastingmorningshow.com/support. So until Monday, make it a great weekend, everybody. Take care.